the world of high-profile media was just rocked by a massive collision that absolutely no one saw coming. On this Thursday, March 5, 2026, the headlines are fixated on a single name, Alex Eala. However, this time, the buzz is not about her incredible performance on the tennis court. It is about a high-stakes confrontation with the legendary queen of talk shows, Oprah Winfrey. Reports are breaking across the globe that a recent sit-down interview transformed into a public relations nightmare for Oprah. This crisis was reportedly triggered by remarks that were perceived as deeply insensitive toward Alex's cultural heritage and her meteoric rise to stardom. The shockwaves from this moment of instant regret are currently ripping through social media platforms where millions of fans are accusing Oprah of using racial undertones and drastically underestimating the power of the Filipino community. The underlying truth is that Oprah Winfrey, a woman who has spent decades interviewing world leaders and global icons, reportedly found herself completely lost for words when a 20-year-old tennis prodigy stood her ground with an incredible level of grace. What exactly transpired that ignited this massive backlash? Insiders from within the recording studio leaked that the tension began during a segment discussing Alex's $75 million endorsement deal with Nike. Oprah reportedly questioned whether such a massive financial investment was appropriate for an athlete hailing from a developing tennis nation like the Philippines. The tone of the conversation was described as dismissive, almost as if implying that Alex's success was rooted in luck and clever marketing rather than genuine talent and hard work. But the wave of instant regret hit Oprah like a freight train the moment Alex refused to simply nod and smile politely. Instead of staying silent, Alex reportedly looked Oprah directly in the eyes and delivered a powerful 8-word response that has since become a rallying cry for the entire Filipino nation. The atmosphere in the studio turned ice cold, and for the first time in decades, Oprah Winfrey was the one desperately searching for a way to backtrack. The fallout from this interview has been absolutely staggering. Within hours of the snippets being leaked online, Eala transformed into a fierce digital defense force. Fans are absolutely fuming, claiming that Oprah's comments were essentially a microaggression hidden within a sophisticated question. This has evolved into something far greater than a gossip story. It is now a full-scale cultural war. The Women's Tennis Association locker room is also reportedly buzzing, with stars like Coco Gauff and Iga Swiatek reportedly showing public support for Alex's bold stance. Even Rafael Nadal, who serves as Alex's mentor, is said to be immensely proud of her for defending her roots in such a high-profile public arena. The Oprah brand, which is built entirely on the foundation of empathy, is currently facing a severe crisis as her team scrambles to release a statement of clarification. But the internet never forgets, and this moment of instant regret is proving to be a legacy-defining mistake for the media mogul. As we dive deeper into the details of this scandal, the question on everyone's mind is how a young woman from Quezon City managed to silence a billionaire icon. The answer lies in the quiet strength that Alex has cultivated through years of intense discipline at the Nadal Academy. She is no longer just a tennis player. She has become a diplomat, representing the pride of the Philippines. In Part 2, we are going to reveal the 8 powerful words that Alex reportedly used to shut down Oprah's narrative and the secret phone call Oprah's team made to the Eala camp to beg for a retraction. This interview scandal is merely the beginning of the story. The backtracking from Oprah Winfrey's side is about to become even more desperate. The tension inside that recording studio on this Thursday, March 5th, 2026, was so thick that you could practically cut it with a tennis racket. As the sting of immediate regret washed over Oprah Winfrey, the cameras remained active, capturing a defining instance in media history. In the wake of Oprah's condescending remarks regarding whether a Filipina player merited a $75 million Nike endorsement, the world expected Alex to offer a courteous and scripted reply. However, Alex is not merely a pupil of the game. She is a dedicated follower of Rafael Nadal's core philosophy of never retreating from a challenge. Reports are surfacing that Alex paused, maintained intense eye contact with Oprah, and delivered those 8 fierce words, "My roots are my strength, not my limit." The ensuing silence was devastating. It was more than just a clever retort. It was a bold declaration of independence from the narrow perspectives of Western media. Oprah, a woman renowned for always having a follow-up question, was reportedly left struggling for words for the first time in her illustrious 40-year career. The hidden reality of this encounter is that Oprah's team allegedly attempted to halt the recording immediately. They recognized within moments that they were facing an absolute public relations catastrophe. Insiders have leaked that Oprah's producers were livid behind the scenes, realizing that the Queen of Talk had inadvertently insulted the fastest-growing fan base on the planet, the Pinoy Power movement. Mere minutes after the interview concluded, a confidential phone call was reportedly placed from Oprah's production company to the Eala camp. They desperately wanted to remove the segment where Oprah questioned Alex's cultural background. They were practically pleading for a retraction, promising Alex special features and future collaborations if she would agree to keep the exchange a secret. However, Alex's management, guided by her family and trusted advisors, reportedly gave a stinging reply. The truth does not require an edit. The backtracking efforts started almost instantly. Oprah's social media managers, noticing the massive backlash from Filipino fans who had already heard whispers of the exchange, began scrubbing comments and trying to rebrand the interview clips. But the Eala mania is far too agile and intelligent to be contained. Supporters began trending powerful hashtags such as "Respect the Roots" and "Stand Tall," causing Oprah's social media engagement metrics to plummet in real time. This is not just a typical celebrity feud. It is a technical nightmare for Oprah's enduring legacy. The immediate regret is now showing up as a massive exodus of followers and corporate sponsors who refuse to be linked to racial undertones in 2026. Meanwhile, Alex's professional value is reaching new heights. Major brands are reportedly scrambling to sign the young woman who had the courage to silence a billionaire icon. But the drama extends far beyond a simple phone call. The locker room rebellion we witnessed in the world of professional tennis is now overflowing into the entertainment industry. Reports suggest that prominent Hollywood stars of Asian descent are standing firmly with Alex, making the backtracking process even more grueling for Oprah. Even Rafael Nadal reportedly sent a private text to Alex saying, "Tennis is a game of character, and today you won the most significant match of your life." In Part 3, we're going to explore the confidential recording and the leaked audio that Oprah's team is desperately trying to suppress, as well as the explosive statement Alex's father is preparing to share with the global press. The Oprah scandal runs deep, but the Eala revolution is only just finding its momentum. This controversy has officially moved from being a social media rumor to a full-scale international crisis. On this Thursday, March 5, 2026, the digital landscape is exploding because of one specific thing: the leaked audio. On this Thursday, March 5, 2026, the digital landscape is erupting due to the emergence of leaked audio. Despite the frantic efforts of Oprah's production crew to suppress the footage and silence the calls mentioned earlier, a 45-second clip has surfaced. In this specific recording, Oprah is purportedly heard whispering to a producer, questioning why the Philippine market is receiving such prominent attention in the tennis world. What began as a moment of instant regret has now spiraled into a deep national insult felt by millions of Filipinos across the globe. This situation has transcended the sport of tennis, exposing a pattern of systemic disrespect that Alex has now brought to light. The resulting shockwaves are absolutely devastating, and the efforts by Oprah's team to backtrack have become a desperate race for survival. However, the most significant development occurred today when Alex's father, Mike Eala, decided to break his long-standing silence. Known for his quiet dignity, Mike Eala has reportedly drafted an explosive statement that legal experts are currently vetting before its official release to the press. Internal sources suggest the statement is powerfully titled, "Our Heritage is Not a Marketing Gimmick." Within this draft, Mike Eala reportedly confronts the elitist mindset of Western media figures who believe they can dictate the value of an Asian athlete. He specifically targets those who attempt to measure a person's worth based solely on the gross domestic product of their home country. He firmly stated that Alex's $75 million partnership with Nike was not some kind of charitable gift. Instead, every cent was earned through intense physical labor and emotional sacrifice during her years at the Nadal Academy. This protective stance from her father has introduced a profound level of emotional weight to the scandal, making Oprah appear increasingly arrogant. The hidden reality behind Oprah's sudden attempts to backtrack is that her primary corporate sponsors are starting to distance themselves. When you alienate a nation of 110 million citizens, the backlash is swift and severe. Combined with a massive global diaspora, the financial repercussions of this mistake are starting to manifest in a very real way. Brands associated with Oprah are reportedly livid, as they have no desire to be caught in the middle of a racial controversy in 2026. Reports indicate that Oprah has even reached out to Rafael Nadal directly, hoping the tennis legend would act as a neutral party. She reportedly hoped he could mediate the situation and help quiet the growing storm of criticism. However, the response from the Nadal camp has been described as remarkably cold and uncompromising. The message coming out of Mallorca is unmistakable. Stand with Alex or simply get out of her way. This moment of instant regret has officially transformed into a massive financial catastrophe for the Oprah Winfrey Network. Throughout all of this, Alex Eala continues to navigate the fallout with the poise and composure of a world-class champion. While the rest of the world remains obsessed with the leaked audio clips, Alex was seen today on the practice courts of Indian Wells. She was observed hitting tennis balls with an incredible level of focus and savage intensity. She is clearly refusing to allow Hollywood drama to pull her attention away from her scheduled debut on March 6th. Insiders are suggesting that the confrontation with Oprah has actually ignited a new sense of purpose within the young athlete. She is no longer competing just for a silver trophy. She is now playing for the dignity and honor of her heritage. The sense of shock within the Women's Tennis Association locker rooms is incredibly thick. Reports indicate that Oprah and her advisors spent the entire night in a high-stakes emergency meeting in Montecito, attempting to film a public apology to stop the damage. However, the hidden reality is that the first 3 versions of that apology were reportedly rejected by the Eala family before they could even air. This rejection occurred because Alex's team, led by her father Mike Eala, felt the statements were insincere and overly corporate. They believed the focus was more on protecting the brand rather than addressing the racial insensitivity that caused the immediate regret. The Eala family is not interested in a scripted public relations stunt. They are demanding genuine accountability. While the backtracking from Oprah's side continues, a stunning secret has surfaced from the legal department of the global headquarters of Nike. It has been revealed that Alex Eala's $75 million endorsement deal covers much more than just footwear and athletic gear. Insiders have leaked that her contract includes a powerful anti-disrespect clause. This specific clause reportedly states that if any major media partner or broadcaster insults Alex's national heritage or exhibits systemic bias, Nike reserves the right to withdraw all advertising and sponsorship from that platform. This massive financial leverage is exactly why Oprah's team is currently in a state of absolute panic. If Nike chooses to move forward with enforcing this particular clause, Oprah's media network could potentially lose millions of dollars in advertising revenue. This moment of instant regret has now spiraled into a budgetary catastrophe for the most powerful woman in Hollywood. The uprising in the Women's Tennis Association locker rooms is also taking a very aggressive turn. There are reports that several top 10 players, including Coco Gauff, have instructed their agents to decline any Oprah-related projects until this scandal is fully resolved. These athletes are standing in total solidarity with Alex, proving that the latest generation of tennis stars is not intimidated by Hollywood icons. For Rafael Nadal, who is observing these events from Mallorca, his sense of pride is absolutely immense. He reportedly told a close confidant today that Alex's 8-word response, "My roots are my strength, not my limit," is more valuable than any Grand Slam trophy. He views Alex not just as his student, but as a fierce protector of the integrity of the sport. Meanwhile, Back in the desert of Indian Wells, Eala mania is reaching an incredible fever pitch. Fans are reportedly producing t-shirts featuring Alex's 8 savage words and are organizing a massive show of support for her debut on March 6th. The Oprah scandal has inadvertently sparked a global movement. People who have never even watched tennis are now speaking out in support of the young woman who dared to challenge the media establishment. Oprah's attempts to backtrack are now being ridiculed as being too little and far too late. The hidden power of the Philippines has finally been awakened, and it is a force that Hollywood was completely unprepared to handle. In the upcoming 5th part, we will deliver the final verdict on the situation. We will share the explosive prediction for what will happen when the full interview is released, as well as a shocking gesture Alex is reportedly planning for Friday. We will also disclose the total financial loss Oprah's brand has experienced since this moment of instant regret began. The revolution has arrived, and the truth is set to be televised on the terms of Alex Eala. The Oprah scandal reached its peak conclusion on this Thursday, March 5, 2026. As we examine the aftermath of the instant regret that overwhelmed Oprah Winfrey following her dismissive remarks toward Alex, the statistical data is absolutely mind-blowing. Media analysts are stunned because Oprah's brand favorability has reportedly plunged by 25% across Asia and the global Filipino diaspora in only 48 hours. This is far more than just a standard public relations glitch. It represents a catastrophic failure of the media establishment to acknowledge and respect the immense power of the new generation. While Oprah's team continues their desperate backtracking, attempting to release a 4th and even more humble version of their apology, the world has already moved on. The hidden reality is that the Queen of Talk has been effectively dethroned by a 20-year-old athlete from Quezon City who refused to let her heritage be insulted for a mere soundbite. However, the most explosive moment occurred today on the practice courts of Indian Wells. As Alex Eala concluded her final session before her highly anticipated debut on Friday, March 6th, she did not simply walk off the court. She reportedly made a stunning gesture toward the cameras that has set the entire internet ablaze. Rather than a standard tennis celebration, she pointed directly to the flag of the Philippines on her kit and then tapped her temple with focus. This move signaled that her true strength is derived from her mind and her cultural heritage. This was far more than just a simple gesture. It served as the final blow to Oprah's narrative. Alex has demonstrated to the world that she is not merely a product of the Nadal Academy. She stands as a fierce symbol of national pride that cannot be silenced or muffled by the elite circles of Hollywood. The immediate regret Oprah felt was not just about the controversy surrounding her remarks. It was the realization that she could no longer dictate the story of an Asian athlete. The rebellion within the professional locker rooms has also delivered its final and most decisive strike. Reports are emerging that several major sponsors of the Women's Tennis Association are currently re-evaluating their partnerships with media networks that fail to show cultural sensitivity toward their players. This is the Nike effect operating at full capacity. The $75 million athlete has officially altered the business of tennis forever. Even Rafael Nadal has reportedly shared a final and powerful public message with the Eala camp. He stated that she has taught the world a lesson in dignity that no championship trophy could ever hope to equal. This blessing of legacy from the King of Clay has officially made Alex untouchable within the global tennis community. As we look toward the round of 64 this Friday, the explosive prediction is that Eala mania will reach levels never before witnessed in the desert. The Oprah scandal has unintentionally transformed a tennis match into a global celebration of cultural heritage. Alex is not simply competing for the $1.15 million prize. She is playing for every individual who has ever been told that their roots represent a limitation rather than a foundation. The backtracking of Oprah Winfrey serves as a stark lesson for everyone. Never underestimate the power of the Philippines. Thank you for following this 5-part exclusive deep dive into the interview that effectively shattered the internet. Alex Eala has proven that she is the Michael Jordan of the Philippines for the modern era. Will she carry this newly ignited fire all the way to the Indian Wells title? Only time will provide that answer. But one thing is absolutely certain. The world is listening, and Alex Eala has the final word. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and leave the phrase, "Roots are strength," in the comments to show your unwavering support. The revolution has arrived, and the truth has finally been televised on the specific terms set by Alex herself. The revolution is officially here, and the global narrative has been reclaimed on Alex's own terms.